Take three. Shavua Tov, everybody. I hope everybody had a good Shabbat. As of this week, we're starting a new topic, and the topic will be the biblical doctrine of Am HaNivchar, the chosen people. This is kind of a controversial, difficult one for people to grapple with as to how the Bible views this question of chosenness. Before we begin the topic itself, I wanted to step back and just think a little bit about how questions about community building and community membership are thought of. How do these doctrines come to be? And I decided to start with the the view that ethical beliefs are driven by evolutionary biology. This is a fairly new field of study. There's been a number of written works on it over the past 20 odd years. But the idea is that human behavior, just like every other living being, is driven by the evolutionary forces that push organisms to behave in a way that will spread its genes onto the next generation. So there's a number of behavior patterns that are instinctive. And the question is, are religious beliefs part of this process? Are religious beliefs the outcome of processes of evolution in which we are driven to adopt not only behavior patterns, but also beliefs that will enable the group to perpetuate and continue successfully to spread its genetic material to the coming generation. Um, Interesting topic. We'll see how it comes up. So this was really by way of introduction to the discussion of the field of evolutionary biology and its potential role in understanding the concept of chosenness. The specific work that I referred to was work by an anthropologist at the University of Connecticut named Richard Sosas, who conducted game theory experiments using different members of kibbutzim in Israel, where he attempted to measure the extent to which their behavior exhibited patterns of trust in other members of the community. And he found that, in fact, using this game theory, where people were shown an envelope that had a certain amount of money in it, and based on how much money they were allowed to take money out of the envelope. If they took some money, they would get it. If they asked for too much, collectively with an unnamed partner, if they asked for too much, they would get either less or potentially none at all. And he used this to try to quantify the extent to which members of a given community had trust that other members of the community, in some type of anonymous setting where you didn't know what your partner would do, would engage in behavior that was more collaborative as opposed to competitive. And his experiments found that members of religious kibbutzim behaved in behavior patterns that were more collaborative, especially the men, and especially those men who attended synagogue on a daily basis. And I think that the thesis that he put forward was that there is a relationship between religious behavior, especially public, regular religious behavior, and trusting other members of the community to behave in a way that is collaborative. And his thesis is that this is consistent with other types of behavior that they're seen in other species, where collaborative behavior may increase the ability of the community, the herd, the flock, whatever it might be, to continue to flourish. So this is really the introduction to our discussion of chosenness, and we'll see over the coming weeks whether or not it stands up, whether we think that the doctrines of chosenness have some kind of relationship to human instinct. So this is a discussion that will continue over several weeks.